Welcome to the Real Estate Syndication Show. Whether you are a seasoned investor or building a new real estate business, this is the show for you. Whitney Sewell talks to top experts in the business. Our goal is to help you master real estate syndication. And now your host, Whitney Sewell.
This is your daily real estate syndication show. I'm your host, Whitney Sewell. Today our guest is Vinney Chopra. Thanks again for being on the show, Vinney.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Whitney. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm always pleased to have Vinney on the show and just sharing his time and knowledge and expertise. He's got as much experience in the business as anybody that I know. And Vinney came to the U.S. with only $7 in his pocket. Now has a company that manages over $200 million worth of real estate. And so we're just thankful to have him on the show. And we're doing a series of shows. So if you want to learn more about Vinney's background, I encourage you to go back and listen to many other episodes, including the very first show that WS01. And anyway, we've done many shows, but today, Vinney, it's a very important topic we're going to cover today. And the property takeover and management, the closing day, those things like that. But Vinney, get us started and just what we need to be thinking about when we're taking over a property and leading up to that closing day.
Sure, Whitney. As we get into the whole process of closing, the light at the end of the tunnel, we call it, right? All that hard work from finding the deal to doing the underwriting, getting into the loan qualification, and all those things. Now is the time when about a month before, about 3 weeks before, we need to start thinking about what are we going to do the day of the takeover, because you got to make a decision asking the seller, first of all, if they're going to take their employees with them in their company to another property, or would they be willing for us to interview them and then see if they would like to join us. Or the third thing would be, of course, getting a property management company side by side, because they are the ones they're going to take over the property management. Because if we don't have our own, clout and everything, if it's a smaller property like 50 units or something like that, or 25 units, I really teach also my students to go ahead and do some advertisements and get some, well-qualified community manager. We don't call community manager, with good experience, 15 years, 18 years of experience in that market, that'll be worth it, and getting a lead maintenance person and so on. So let's just go to one part where we are assuming that we're going to take over. Of course, the biggest thing is there are several contracts, service contracts we call them, that are transferred to the new owner. So we need to ask in the due diligence from the seller and the broker involved, what are these things? Is this the lawn care or landscaping contract, if it's going to be taken over? Coin back contract is another one, which is the laundry facilities contract goes over. If there are some equipment in the office, some machines and things like, they have to be taken over. Or we have the pest control contract, those will transfer over. The day we sign the deal and it's recorded, keys are handed over, they're going to hand over all the leases of that property, right? All the leases, and then they're going to start dismantling. The seller is going to take out the utilities, the water, trash, gas, electric. We need to be ready to go to the city and change those in our new company's name. Now remember, our LLC just got formed maybe a few months back. There is no traction, there is no record. So the utilities people at the city hall or city office, they're going to ask for deposits. We call it as the water deposit or utilities deposit. So be ready to pay $5,000, $8,000, $10,000. I know in one property I bought $20,000. They didn't want to take anything less than that, $20,000. They said your bill is so high at this address, and we are just dealing with you. You're a brand new owner, so we want to put this much money in a deposit. Now there is something called surety bond. Surety bond is through the broker or your bank. You could get this bond, which will give them the power to, write it off $20,000 value is called. So you could buy that for $1,300, $1,500. So one can look into that, then you don't have to pay the whole money, but you give them, but you have to ask the city if they will take the surety bond. Okay. So that's that. But then now let's talk about what are you going to do right away as you take over the property. It's your baby. I mean, the residents are going to start coming to the leasing office. What's the software you're going to use? So that is a huge part of the whole game. How are you going to take care of running the operation smoothly right after the keys are given to you? Because they're going to leave the laptops, they're going to wipe out everything, on those on their machines. We never buy laptops, by the way, because they are portable. We want the machines which are fixed. So PCs, all-in-ones or the other ones, right? CPUs. So we want to make sure that we have decided on a software. That's what we have to do. Is it Rent Manager? Is it RealPage? Is it Yardi? Is it Apolio? Anything like that. And then you get from the seller current rent roll in Excel so that you could convert that into CSV file and then let the software company import it into the software database so that day one, you have all the residents' names, their phone numbers, their address, their everything, their all the data that the seller can give us, right?
So Vinney, that information. So if a seller usually going to take their machines with them, and then you're not going to have that information, I guess, electronically if you don't ask for. I mean, hopefully you already have it when you're doing your due diligence, right? Rent rolls,
exactly,
things like that. I mean, I would sure hope. But just in case,
that's right. Exactly.
I think that's a neat point you make too about having a desktop machine so it's not so portable. That's interesting. Because I guess they could easily take them also, but a laptop I can see could walk off much easier.
Much easier. We don't like, in all my properties, 26 of them, we always have had big CPU machines, which are with the big, a lot of our communities now have two desktops, like two screens, and they like to work on one screen and another screen. So we buy 27-inch or 24-inch, both of them separately. I actually usually have always believed in, we want to get cutting edge software, cutting edge, faster machines, because if they are not faster, they are like very, very old. That reduces the productivity and the efficiency. So I believe in that, But many times, by the way, you ask them for a personal property list, it's called, and then the seller and the broker will give you a property list, which will actually show you all the machines that are staying, all the things in the warehouse is staying, all the things in different parts of the model unit and everything is staying. So that list is very, very important on the day of takeover to check off if they left everything they told us, right? See,
That's such a good point, because I can imagine, you're so excited, you've closed, and then, you're walking into the leasing office, and I've heard horror stories like this before. Where you walk in and then like all the machines are gone, there's no equipment, and you just, if you didn't think about that, I appreciate you bringing up the personal property list or the equipment list, or so what's going to be there.
Totally, Whitney. That's so important. And I've sold so many properties. Out of 26, we have sold 14 of them, right? Completely the cycle. And we have given them to the end time. We kept on working hard for the buyer because that's the right thing. And then you give everything they saw when they did all this due diligence. We don't take away anything at all. We just wipe out our information on the machines, but we leave them media center machines, everything. I mean, I believe in that. It's going to save me maybe a couple of $1,000, but transporting and all that. So it's good practice to just give them everything, wipe out your information. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then the software is so important. And I would highly recommend Rent Manager is what we have been using. And Upfolio is very nice program also. But Rent Manager does everything for $50 or $70 a license as compared to thousands of dollars. So I believe in that.
So Rent Manager, that's the management software that you all use?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the management software where we can import all the units. I mean, all the residents, and it's amazing, cutting edge software at a very, very cheap price. And they're from Ohio, I think. And the good part is you can do the texting, you could do the e-pay, and we have scanners in our property offices, right? And you can just scan the checks. It's connected to the Rent Manager. All the units, all the money gets put into the right residence, how much money is coming in, and it's linked to the our Wells Fargo accounts and everything. I love that. And then it's got reporting of units, rents, the rent rolls, the financials, everything you need. It's right there. Very robust system if your audience would like to look into.
Now, you've already provided some good information here, Vinney. Even talking about like the security bond and the property list, I mean, just some good information that I don't hear people mention too often. But what are some other things we should be thinking about for, this big day of closing day coming up?
Sure. I would say definitely, you are preparing your personnel. That is the biggest asset. You got to hire the people beforehand if you're going to bring your whole crew. Now, of course, I make a decision way early when we are buying the property, we are doing due diligence and all that. We interview them, the employees, if they were going to bring those team members aboard. If the property is not being run right, I don't want them. I want to bring my whole crew, all experienced people, or we train them in our office, our other properties, and bring them, brand new. So those are very important pieces of the puzzle. I have perfected my Craigslist ads now, where I could put them just like this. I can get 30, 40, 50 resumes coming straight to my box, one after the other. We never give phone number. We only give fax number and the email address. Email address is a Gmail email address, never to the property or your company, because you want to really, make sure that you like the candidates and who they are before you even, start replying to 50 people. So we pinpoint, we, search through all the resumes, my HR person, my, and the accounting department and my asset managers. So they design, and then they come from the 30 down to 10 to 5, and then they will make interviews and FaceTime. Never ever talk to the candidate without looking at their face, how they dress up, how they talk, how they look. That's so important, and that's something we do it through Zoom, through Skype, through FaceTime, like that. And then, of course, flying there to that area to make sure that we hire the right kind of people, community manager, the leasing agent, we ask them, once we hire the community manager, they are on the top, that's the top leader. We ask them, do you know of other people that you have worked in the past, or they are out of job, or things like, so recommendations are huge. And especially if they know they can work together. Let's go now to the day of the takeover. Now we have to deal with 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So we have a set schedule of what to accomplish in first week as we take over. Second week, third week, fourth week, all different things that we go over, checkpoints, and make sure those things are done. Lots of things have to happen because a brand new company took over. It's a property management company or our own company. It's a shock. Many times it's a shock to the residents of that community. Oh my gosh, how are these people going to increase rents or this? How are they going to deal with? They're going to come with their gripes. Lots of things happen. If there is a property management company which is very bad before, or owners are bad, they say, we are so thankful that you're taking over. But let me share with you, They never took care of this and this and this and this. So it's a whole game. It's a whole gamut of things, happening. But you got to set standards.
Are you a new or sophisticated investor wanting to learn how to operate a successful syndication business? For life-changing training from the nation's leading syndication expert, my friend Vinney Chopra has the training you need. Text LEARN, LEARN, to 474747.
You got to send that estoppel letter, right? Estoppel letter which is where you are asking the residents to give right to you directly as a buyer as to when did they come into the community, how much they are paying as rent and so forth. It's another way to double check. See, because when we do the due diligence, financial due diligence, it's only looking at the leases, only the leases amounts. This is how much deposit they gave. This is how much is the rent per month. This is for utilities, RUB system, blah, blah, blah. This is where they go to job and all that stuff, right? Our due diligence, our teams, ourselves, or I hire people from outside to do it. Good, it's good investment in due diligence. But then once you take over the property, you can start looking at leases more and the criterion, because if they didn't really check the credits, you want to get firmer. And that's the time to change the culture of the community, I call it. Culture of the community. You want to set standards. I mean, I would love to share with your audience. One property had gone through $3.5 million renovations. 3.5 before I bought it. Before I bought it for 63 a door or something like that. So a lot of money had already been spent. And I found, and my community manager said, Mr. Vinney, there are white trash bags outside everybody's door. I said, what? What are you talking about? Here it's a beautiful property. And these residents were very not trained at all. They could not walk over and put it in the dumpsters. Right away, we send the memo out, new company, new everything, new culture. We want everything hygienic. We want for the better of all the community. There'll be $25 fine for every bag we see outside. Oh my gosh. Overnight, those bags went directly into the dumpsters. By just showing that, hey, we are here for you. We are bringing value for you. We are doing all these things, and we were finding some of the residents were like lying on the lawn. We had very beautiful creek going through this property and all, and they were like bare chested, just lying, so we had to really talk to them. Hey, it's not kosher. I mean, if you're at the swimming pool, which is a beautiful swimming pool, it's okay, but you can't just lie on the lawn and things like that, so you have to.
You have to set a standard, right? I mean, you have to set a standard, and so everyone knows exactly what's expected now. And I can see that going one of two ways, drastically one or the other. If you don't set the standard, as soon as you take over, they're just going to take advantage of you, just like many others.
Right. No, you have to be fair, and slowly, you have to change the culture. That's how I say, Rome was not built in a day, and you can't really drastically change, but incrementally. You got to do that. And then we want to start putting our plan of action, which we already thought through in the executive summary. When we present it to the investors, we're going to change the curb appeal. We're going to put the flag poles, right? Nice flag poles up there. We're going to light this up. We're going to see the building lights over here. We're going to change the signage if we are getting a new signage. So we get started right away. I remember one property I bought in Lake Jackson. We were having 23 approvals I did for the work to be done in the first 10 days, 7 to 10 days, 23 approvals. They were these construction contractors coming, doing things. Residents could see that this guy who got this property, he's going places with it, right? So that helps a lot, because once they see the new parking lot and this and that, with the previous owner didn't do anything about it. That was the first thing I did at that property, Monaco Villas. It's worth now $12 million. I paid $6 million something. It's ridiculous how you can increase the NOI. by giving value to the residents and then doing the outside, interior, exterior leasing. Office was not used, I should say, and it cost me only $69,000 to fix the leasing unit inside out. It was in studs, by the way, when I took over. But now it's got beautiful resident center and offices and bathrooms and all that anyway. But the thing is, you got to bring value. What brings value in the eyes of the resident is exterior before. The flags, the pole, the curb appeal, the bark, taking care of the pavements, parking lot, garages, overall, like if there are shade garages, up on the top, if they're torn. So those things are to be done right away. And that sends the message, we can increase the rents then too. See, our main idea is to make sure that we are giving value. Oh, media centers, I forgot about that. I buy those $489 worth of Dell's 27-inch all-in-ones for the media centers with nice tables and everything. And now we got residents using the media center and giving some positive reviews and using it otherwise with a printer and all. Then the cafes. We are really big in our Monil communities to build cafes, curing machines, having some cookies and this and that, and having the events every month. Oh, I forgot about that. I always buy those, the dog waste stations.
Yes.
I mean, if we have pets in the property, to put them out, they look nice and elegant, and also gives them away, that, hey, we are pet, loving community, and then they are not spattering all over the place,
Right.
And then playground equipment is another one I go for, to see if I can salvage the one which is there, if it is possible, or buy a new one, things like that.
What are some critical things we should be thinking about, like that need to be done the first week, like you talked about having that plan, first week versus the second and third week?
Sure. I think the very first week, we need to take care of the rents, residents, collections. So rents are very important. I mean, we do not need to miss a beat, because that's what is the most important thing. In my books for property management, there are three things. One is rent collections, retention, and then responsiveness. Really quickly taking care of the responses, 3 hours, of their needs of the residents. Nothing goes away if they send in the work orders and we don't have parts in the workshop, or we are not getting taken care of within 24 hours, things like that. So that's so important, because retention is built with the responsiveness that we take care of them for the service order. And rents are very, very collectible. Rents to reduce the delinquency. I find about that. Concessions, delinquencies are the main factors in the rent collections, as you know, when we take over the property. We want to make sure that the rents are due by the 3rd, they are late on the 4th, and then the checks go out on the 1st. We like them to even start paying early on. It's called before the 1st, right? And then we try to even give some raffle drawings. In other words, those residents who pay before the 1st, we put their name in the hat for $25 or $50 gift certificate. They love that. So this way they start winning these things. Their behavior is changing now. See, that's what we want. We want to change the behavior of the community, believing that, oh yeah, I'm going to pay the rent. Let me just pay a couple of days early. And it's better for us. We got it already tacked down in the bank, And of course, then teaching them through signs and things like that. Depends on the community, if it's a C community or a B community. And then, sending the text service with rent manager is amazing. You could do text like this for the whole company, all 26 properties, by just clicking this one text, which is a bulk text, which we design it, which goes out on 31st and on the 3rd and on the 5th. We do only 3 texts, and they go to the whole company, and we start getting all these responses back, and we can control through this rent manager. It's amazing.
That is amazing. And I haven't heard anyone talk about, doing a raffle for the ones who pay early. That's such a great idea.
Sure. Totally. See, the thing is, we believe in referrals also. I have my daughter, Monica, is so much involved. She's a graphic person. We got, graphic artists in Philippines who have been working with us. They design the websites, they design the marketing pieces. So it has given me new knowledge over the last 12 years to really be involved after the takeover. See, syndicators, we raise the money, we buy the property, but then we are only dealing with managing the manager maybe once a week for 1 hour, or or twice a month, or things like that, right? But in my case, being the CEO of the management company, I get to see everything, fruit of the labor, right there on a daily basis. And then looking at the Monday morning reports, the delinquency reports, everything. Our daughter has designed these beautiful Google Docs. Oh my gosh, these are great. Everything is in one sheet. It's in real time. So when the manager puts it in, we can put in also, we can see it. It's just the most revolutionary thing my daughter has done. And I'd love to share that, But the key thing is, we got to make it easy for our managers to manage. If they are feeling the, pressure from the management company, they don't perform well. But you show them, let's make your job easier. These are the 5 important things we're going to talk about every time. This is your slot, Tuesday morning from this to this. We give like 1 hour, but then we do training to our employees on Monday at 2 p.m. Central or 12 o'clock here in the Pacific Coast. And then on Friday, we grab them right here and here. And then who teaches? The people in our team who are doing really great job in leasing, in advertising, in collections, in all those things, fair housing laws. We do all these different tapes. Then our insurance company has portals that we also share with them. Today we did training on benefits. Our insurance company came and they gave a whole benefit. Everybody was on the, Zoom meetings and things like that. We record them and put them in a, Dropbox so that we can review them. So answer your question. Retention is huge. So we give $200 to $300 referral bonus, by the way. And our 12 communities are in one generic area, 10 in Texas nearby. And then we have 2 over there, and we're going to buy more. So we have these cards with all the properties pictures and addresses and phone numbers and everything. And we give any resident, anybody who would like to give us referral to any of the properties. It doesn't have to be in just that community. And we pay them $200 or $250 third month. Not right away. They don't get it. We don't want them to get somebody in and then they leave us right away. So after 90 days, we say, thank you so much. You referred so-and-so to us, and we are willing to give you now $250 off your rent or cash or whatever card, So that's something, referral bonus. We have also implemented something very, very special I'd like to tell your audience about. And this is a discount, 5% discount to the employers, local employers. Our leasing agents go and talk to them and say that we would like to share with you. If you share our community with your new employees and all that, we'll give them 5% reduction in rent, 5%. And we have beautiful flyers designed to communicate that with them, And then we have marketing pieces galore. I mean, we have just designed it to the T, how to really promote the communities. And then, if I may, we have a little bit of time. We would love to talk about marketing.
Yes.
It's so important to market the asset and to get the traffic, not only the flagpoles and the pole. A lot of people ask me, Vinney, give me the, these are the 30 feet tall flagpoles I like. I don't like the smaller 20 feet and the thin ones. I like to pay $700 or $500, $600 and get them from the manufacturer from Georgia. He was supplying, putting them on a trailer, sending them to me in Texas. He will send anywhere in the USA to your audience. The good part is these are statement flags. They are huge, nice. And I like the big ones, 6x4s or 8x4 flag flying on my properties with the lights underneath and light up the signage and everything, right? But the good part is how to advertise. Apartments.com. They don't pay me any money, but apartments.com, 87% of when people look for an apartment or a community they want to live in, they put Google. They say, I want an apartment in Angleton, Texas, let's say, or Houston, Texas. Apartments.com will be the very first one you will see. And now I hear that CoStar owns apartment.com or vice versa, something like that. CoStar bought LoopNet also. So all these are kind of intermixed together, but they are the best company. They send their photographers to your property. They take professional pictures, 3D pictures. They put their website right there. And then the best part is, Whitney, you're not going to believe, they also have a service when people email and call. Then when the people pick up the phone at the property, they record all the calls, every single call. So we use those calls to train our leasing agents and assistant managers. And we share with them, not to dock them, but they know that on the backside, administration is also watching, and how many people were just kind of coming there and getting cut off, or how much they had to wait before somebody picked up the phone, all those things.
Wow.
So
what kind of service does that?
It's amazing. It's for $300 a month or something like that, $350 a month. It's the best service ever, ever, ever. And then the best part is that you can put all these available units. They have a very good setup. Apartments.com is the name.
Apartments.com actually records the calls. They do that?
Yes, exactly. They do it all in the service. Everything is in the service. And it tells you with the graphically also as the owner, how many people emailed. You could click on the emails. Oh my gosh. You could even send the pieces in beautiful media center. You could even reply back through the software. And you can also, what's the other thing I was going to say? Oh, digital. They could send digital brochures in color right back to the property, who are inquiring right from the apartments.com. It's one of the best service I've ever seen.
I like it, Vinney. Unfortunately, we're about out of time, but there's so many things there that I've never heard of. I did not know that they could actually record the calls and that they would do all that stuff for you.
Totally.
Anything else you want to add right before we have to go? Just about taking over the property and the marketing specifically.
I would say, marketing. We need to be presenting our property and doing the market comparison, rent comparisons. We do it every middle of the month. And we have to look at what other properties our, residents are going to, prospective residents. And I try to tell my teams, oh, by the way, I also buy digital frames. And in every office, you will see some beautiful, frames all around and everything. Then a digital frame showing the model unit and the community and the playground, all 24 hours, when they open up. We teach them also how to walk the walk as the residents comes in to the model unit. Is everything intact? Are the lights on? And then pack up the refrigerator of the model unit with candy bars and water bottles and Cokes and all. So when we are showing this prospective resident, we show them and they look at it and say, please go ahead and pick up a gift, a small gift, small thing, but it goes a long way. Giving them something also as a brochure. We believe in lots of marketing materials and brochure, because once they leave, and then we have a lot of different plans. I could do a whole 2, 3, 4 different lectures on just how we use this, all techniques that we have perfected over the years to manage.
Awesome. I think I would learn a lot just by going and fake shopping or, tenant shopping your properties, Vinney.
Yes.
Learning from your residents or from your managers. I mean, when they don't know that that's what I'm doing.
Totally.
Vinney, thank you so much, again, for your time. You've made, just lots of good points here. From the security bond to the rent manager, the software and how important that is, and just, sending out the letters to the residents and the referral bonus and paying putting people on a raffle that pay early. There's some really great points, and then also the marketing. But Vinney, how can the listeners get in touch with you and learn more about how you've just perfected this business?
Thank you, Whitney. They can always just join my academy. I built a very strong academy. I think I'm over 700 lectures now, and I'm recording even a lot more on the management side of it. So my academy has been mostly deal finding and all these and coaching. But then my main thrust right now is also to record the management side of the academy, which is multifamilymanagementacademy.com, that I have the domain name. They could just text the word learn, LEARN, to 474747, and my team members will get them to them right away, and we could talk to them and see where their needs are. So learn, LEARN, to 474747, and my email address is Vinney Chopra, which is VINNEY Chopra, CHOPRA. Vinney at vinneychopra.com is my email.
Great, Vinney. You're very generous in just giving out your email, and I hope the listeners will connect with you and text learn to 474747, and also go to LifeBridge Capital and connect with me, and go to the Facebook group, the Real Estate Syndication Show, so we can all learn from experts like Vinney and other guests that we've had on the show. And it's been a pleasure to have you on the show again, Vinney, and we'll talk to all the listeners tomorrow.
Thank you, Whitney.
Thank you for listening to the Real Estate Syndication Show, brought to you by LifeBridge Capital. LifeBridge Capital works with investors nationwide to invest in real estate, while also donating 50% of its profits to assist parents who are committing to adoption. LifeBridge Capital, making a difference, one investor and one child at a time. Connect online at www.lifebridgecapital.com for free material and videos to further your success.